Hello, and welcome to Hello.
The greetings, the greetings, the greetings, the greetings.
The greetings. These are some greetings.
Greetings.
My name's Sam Herman. This is my co-host Ignatius Torgersen.
Hello.
We got two guests tonight. Do you want to introduce yourselves one by one? Who are you?
This is Fvde.
Nice.
And this is Moxsa.
What's up?
Excellent. We've got two music producers and songwriters here, and to kind of just start this off, because I'm a producer too, but I like making music that I just attach my name on, and you know, sometimes it's instrumental, sometimes I'll write for someone, but
He'll do anything
it's not
for
their
a book.
song. And what are your thoughts on like the differences between collaborating with someone or like helping them with their music and writing your own music under that same moniker, like being a producer and a producer artist at the same time? Is that different? Is that like a sum of everything?
I definitely think it can be, like, that can be attained. I don't know, I get like super picky about how the process of working with someone is. So like way back in the day when I kind of started like collaborating with people, like I remember very clearly collaborating with this girl, and she's a pretty good singer, and we wrote this track together. Well, it didn't become a track, but we started writing this track together, and basically like every like little idea I would have, she'd be like, oh, that's cool, but like I don't want that, like I want this. And she was very, very picky and very like specific about what she wanted. But I wasn't getting paid. It was like a full-on collaborative thing where it should be like you gotta like give that to me and let me have some of my ideas on this shit. Unless you're paying me money, where then it's just like tell me what to do, I'll fucking push the button.
Mm-hmm.
But and then like since then I've been like very, very wary about working with anyone without being confident in like we both see the same sort of end goal. Yeah. I don't know about you though.
I feel the same way. Like, I feel like with working with someone, as much as I love it and the inspiration that comes along with it, it's like sharing minds and souls and such, because I feel like for me, music, I take it on a very intimate, personal level. I don't know, it's just as much as I like working with other people, it's nice working with just by yourself and feeling no boundaries as to what you can make and what you want to make. So yeah,
I write like the best shit too when I'm like at home, lights down, headphones on, ignoring everyone.
yeah.
Right.
Like I find like that's when I enjoy writing music the most. Like I can't really stand when people just want to like try to like write music solely on a laptop with no gear or like.
That's what this guy does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
how
not
you do
gonna
that,
lie.
man. Like,
It's like,
I
his
like
thing.
I don't mind doing that because like
He likes my beats.
I use
It's
a lot.
true.
I use a lot of sampling and
Yeah.
shit, so it's definitely like possible. But like to like when you're collaborating with like two different producers and like the producer's just supposed to like go into your laptop and assume that he knows exactly what plugins you have. It's really hard. So
Yeah.
like when you're collaborating with another producer, I think it helps to have that analog gear. Because you have one person just like kind of loading up a sound, and that other person can try to play it or something.
I actually get that, because
Yeah.
there's lots of, like with digital, there's lots of things you can change up, and like you could just change it forever and have the totally ever morphing song, and it never gets done.
I guess I just get impatient too, because like when you know your sample bank, like it's the fucking top of your hand. Like you can get in there and just be like, I know what I want, get it within like 5 seconds, rather than like being on someone else's laptop. You're like trying to find some shit, you don't know if it's even gonna be there. So that can slow down the process big time.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
True.
The only beats I've ever gotten done with other producers have actually had analog gear over at Headspace. Like before that, I never really got it cracking with other producers, and that's interesting. I think you know that for sure.
Shouts out to Sam for just being like a bedroom producer.
It's just me, and I
He's
put my
like, he used to
laptop
like
on my
lock himself
chest,
in his room for so long.
and I
just,
type like
make a
this,
song.
and then it comes out, and I have like sloppy wrists and a beat.
You always have sloppy
Jazz
wrists.
hands.
That's alright.
So
So,
they're on our show.
you guys differ in age a little bit, not
Yeah.
too much. But like, do you
Well-
feel like there's like any sort of difference between like, you know, obviously
I can
being,
play
like,
clubs.
It's true. That's what I'm getting
And
at.
he can't play
He can't
clubs.
play clubs. Like somebody like
Not yet. I mean, I turn April. I mean,
Yes!
Yeah! Watch out for that hot fade announcement. He's
He
turning
turns
April.
April. 18.
I mean, I turned 18 in like.
Well, it's the month of May, actually. Happy birthday.
Fuck.
You're 18 right now.
It's currently the month of May. We shoot this on the Saturday before we drop it on Monday. Every month, it's the month of May.
We work hard.
How do you like being 18 there, buddy?
It feels great. It feels
Make your
great.
music feel
Yeah.
any different? All right,
No, I don't
axe
feel any
that.
different.
Yeah, axe that. You guys both sing.
Yeah,
So
that's
let's
actually
just
true.
switch it
We
up.
know that. We know
both,
secrets about
we
you.
know a lot of secrets about y'all, but you're learning to sing. You starting to take that more seriously, or like, you gonna make any like singing ass fade tracks or anything like that?
Possibly. I mean, I've been making a lot of atmospheric stuff.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about like movie scores type of soundtracks
Yeah.
and such. A lot of my inspiration comes from like Hans Zimmer and a producer by the name of Ricky Eat Acid. Ricky Eat Acid has produced for Jaden Smith. Actually, it was the last track of Sire,
Okay.
named itself
Sire.
Sire. Yeah, that was produced by
Yeah.
Ricky Eat Acid, and that song was very inspirational to me. But I've been listening to Ricky Eat Acid like way before that, so that was really interesting to find out he produced that track.
Yeah.
Or they produced that track.
Right, and
album,
yeah, you just played us a couple things, had no drums, and they're like very dreamy.
Yes.
Some nice
Um,
ethereal stuff.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. But you've also like pulled us aside and sang tonight, and that's
Oh yeah.
new. That's news to me. Are we gonna like? Is the public gonna hear that? Is that just for us?
It's just for you for now.
Okay, nice.
But,
But
once
we have
I-
one up.
Once I really get that stuff, like once I improve, I'll definitely put it out.
Sounded
But for
nice
now,
from what I
it's
was
just
hearing.
like it's just for you guys.
Okay, nice.
Sounds good though.
And
You got it. You got it going.
when are
Get
you
it
getting
going.
your voice out?
Well, I work with this artist you guys know named Georgie Holiday.
Shout out to Georgie.
Shout out to Georgie.
Voice.
So I've been like doing like we've had a few songs where I've sang on the on like chorusy parts, and every time that we play live, I end up doing backup vocals for her and we sing together. So I think I'm just gonna like just sit back and kind of practice and use like our collaboration to kind of like get better and see like what kind of beats and how I want to use my voice, how I want to process it nonetheless. Being a producer and a mixing engineer, like I don't really want to have to process my own vocals.
Yeah, it's tough. I've tried.
I've tried, yeah. And I've tried
Yeah.
singing for I've tried singing for the last 3 years, but it's like I'm still, he may be younger than me, but I'm still a changing young man. So my voice is like, I'll write a song like a year ago, and I'll go to like rewrite it or write on it again, and my voice is in a different like area.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a confidence thing too, though, because like when you're unconfident with your voice, you like kind of sing up
That's totally possible
here,
too.
and like like once you like get it, it's kind of starts sitting in like where your voice
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Down it.
That's definitely true. It might be a confidence thing.
So you mentioned Georgie, and we've already kind of talked about collaborations, but since you it seems like you found a pocket with Georgie, and you've produced for T. Crispell in the past, and you had a story about like the one time you referenced a session of yours, you were working with another woman, like you seem to gravitate towards connecting with women on your songwriting, like who you're producing, that sort of thing. Like what's that dynamic like in the studio with any of the people that you've really started to kind of trust with your songwriting, and it's very even, that sort of thing? What are those sessions like?
Well, with T. Crispell, it was a completely different sort of setup because she also went to school and learned how to be an engineer as well.
Okay, cool.
So we had a process, even though we lived close, where I would finish some beats and I would send it her way, and she would actually be able to record it in her bedroom and send me the whole, like, the final version of the files, like, that evening. And then I would be able to take that, slide it into my DAW, and literally get her a demo quality of the song by, like, the next evening. So we, like, found this way to, like, go back and forth, like, very, very quickly. Opposed to, like, with me and Georgie, it's like, I'll write a beat, we'll write the song. Sometimes we meet together, sometimes she'll write it at home. And then we'll sit down and we'll book a studio day. We'll get in there together and we'll spend like however many hours getting like 2 or 3 tracks done. So it's like a way different process, but also T. Crispell's a rapper too. So
Right.
you're dealing with a lot less dynamic range, so it's easier to like use bedroom vocals
I feel
in the mix. With Georgie, she has such a dynamic range where there's quiet parts and there's loud parts. It really helps to have like analog compression and things like that, and a little bit more of a sound environment.
And do you get more hands-on in songwriting on like vocal stuff than on rap music? Because a lot of rappers just like, these are my lyrics. Like maybe you can change a line, that sort of thing. Is the songwriting more collaborative with an act like Georgie, or is that totally just like, here's my song, I wrote it to your beat?
No, there's lots of wiggle room with Georgie, because with me and Georgie, we're studying what's popular and what's successful and what's making waves, and then going back and looking at our lyricism, looking at the beats, looking at how everything's mixed, and then being able to like tailor those little bits of things to kind of mimic what's popping. And you know, we're not trying to like copy people, but there's like a certain kind of lax style of lyricism out right now where it's like it even goes like Migos and that three pattern,
Yeah.
right? Like like big artist that we look up to is IMDDB, who has like, she's a singer, but she like sings in like the cadence and like the rapping, or like the style of a rapper, but she uses a singing voice, and that's kind of like what me and Georgie have been going after. So there's tons of times where like she'll have a lyric or like a whole line, and I'll be like, drop half that line out, like you don't fucking need it.
Right.
I think little things like that. So that dynamic between me and Georgie, where like I'm able to like put myself as an unbiased listener and kind of like help tailor the overall project and the overall final look of the song to be like really, really high quality is different than working with T. T just like, I let T do whatever she wants, and I just work as an engineer, really.
Feel. Word. And you kind of, because you know you're like very much on like a soul tip, like your project really has it all glues together. And I find with Fvde music, it's always like, it's very pretty, it's very, you know, like it's like very emotional, that sort of thing, but you come at it really hard too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they like kind of coexist. It's almost like this friction in it. Is that all at once? Do you like write chords sometimes and write drums sometimes? Like,
I've been experimenting a lot lately. I want to have different kinds of sounds. I don't want to barricade myself into this whole beat maker kind of mindset. So I feel like changing my sound up a little bit helps me improve and develop more as an artist and a person.
yeah, no, I feel that for sure. Is it like a different mix of energies when you're writing melody and when you like, is drums just kind of like something you slap on a song? Like what's like when you get something and you want to make it energetic and that sort of thing, like is that an emotional thing for you, or do you kind of just like, is that still like that beat making angle where you're just like programming?
Honestly, it's both.
Yeah.
It really does depend on my energy. Just yesterday, actually, you probably saw it on my Instagram story, but I made something really arpeggiated, and it was like very jazzy, and that was just the kind of mood I was on because it was such a beautiful day out, you know? And so that mostly inspired that part of the song, but it's still kind of fresh, like I just started it, so there's still much more potential to go on with it.
That sounded really good, actually. I like commented, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, thank you.
You always get me on that, for sure.
True. Oh,
We're tired.
I am. I'm so tired right now. It's actually literally.
May is a tiring month. It's
Dude,
true.
May.
Yes.
May is hard. May is hard on your body, I must say. Hey.
Hey.
You done a lot of shows?
Not lately.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a show?
A lot of things actually, but there's this one time I was doing this show, and like all these girls were just like around me while I was DJing. It felt like the boiler room, and I was just like trying to DJ, but they kept bouncing the table and it was shaking, and my controller was like bouncing left and right, and I was like, guys, please stop. I'm trying to do my job.
Where was that?
That was at 333.
Oh yeah, because everyone gets on the stage there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a 333
No doubt
show.
that sounds
Last year.
I played like a while ago. I don't even know if it's changed. I played Red Room with my friend when I was like 17 for like a foam party, which was gross.
Dude,
'Cause it
that was lit.
it
That
was
was
fun.
not gross.
It was a
That
foam
was
party.
so fun. I had so much fun at that.
Anyway, yeah, and for some reason the Red Room table was on chains with
man.
with nothing supporting it on the bottom, and
man.
it swang like it was like a table that swang.
That's intense.
It was like that was like I panicked for like an hour straight. That was my DJ set. It was just like holy shit.
I would panic
It's
too.
like I'm just trying to hold gear
Trying to-
on it.
Every time you're trying to beat match, it just like wiggles and fucks
Yeah,
up.
I'm sure that's
like, damn it.
I'm sure that's different. And how about you? Do you play a lot of DJ sets?
It was actually last year was the first time that I ever like started DJing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
So, like-
because you play live a lot.
Yeah, so like okay, like when I like started making music and when I went to school for like engineering, one of like my biggest goals at the end of school is like, you know, that when you're envisioning it, I wanted to even be able to perform electronic music in a different way and like be able to perform it live. So actually my final project, and this was in like 2015, was a video of me with an APC and a launch pad and everything just in session mode with Ableton and just triggering everything was triggered.
Oh,
And I just
okay,
had this,
so you were
but I had
playing
like, but it was like a memorized pattern of how things went, and of course it's all quantized. But like with the launchpad, you'd have to like trigger it a millisecond before the actual time. You're not actually playing it like piano, which is super difficult, but not as difficult as like probably having to like trigger it right on point. That's what Tennyson does.
Right, but do you play the whole song like a little early?
Yeah, that's what you have to do. So it's like you have this like you have a vocal sample coming, you have to press it so that it notices and then plays on the actual quantized like note part of it. So you have to like play everything leading up to it that's actual part of being played. It's super weird, but I finally touched CDJs for the first time last year.
Oh, wild. Yeah, I respect the live set thing because
Yeah.
that's so beyond me. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to pull that off. Like it's really really, and it's really personal. Like you can just kind of do whatever.
Well, it reflects because it's a lot of like inner processing. So like learning how to build chains and like signal flow within your like digital audio workstation is what makes the huge difference.
Right. It's the producer nerd episode here.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, there's a lot of
A lot of technical
stay
stuff.
to the end for
It's
the
funny.
index.
I'm train rolling this because I love these two, and like I've got all these like hey producers, but that's a market. There's plenty of producers on YouTube trying to listen to producer stuff about production stuff, and we're we're very behind
And
the
we're
scenes.
documenting the process.
Yes, and you like make your beats on a launch pad.
Yes, I do.
Do you have sets in mind where you're like kind of being more tactile with playing your music out rather than spinning it?
Yeah, actually, as of lately, I've been wanting to perform more often, both doing a DJ set and a live performance using my machine controller. I just feel like it's really interesting. And with like, because I've been learning guitar lately, at some point soon, hopefully, I might even be able to actually perform songs on the spot.
Like country songs?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, he pulled us aside at Hal's house, and he was like, "Hey, let me play you this bluegrass country song."
Yeah.
He's got a
He's
banjo
going
in the leather jacket. It was sick.
Brand new fade.
So wait for that. That's gonna be like some 2020
Yeah.
stuff. He's gonna
2020.
just change his act to like all banjos.
I really hope not.
Banjo plug.
yeah, banjo plug.
Banjo plug track.
Yeah,
Banjo
that's
plug.
untouched market. We're gonna have like an emo singer like trap hybrid movement, and then right after that it's bluegrass
Banjos.
trap. It easily.
Let me get on that.
Yeah.
I'll get on that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to make a bluegrass fucking album. That was just, like,
But with like chop snares and stuff.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, okay,
Whatever you
excellent.
guys want.
Then it's on. Like Young Thug kind of like set that bar up, but it hasn't really been like so folksy. We're getting out of hand here with this analogy. Do you play the banjo? No. What instruments do you play? I know you
play the banjo.
I know that you play guitar. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you play? Because I know you add a lot of
He
instruments.
doesn't play cereal, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, he doesn't play cereal. I asked him before. We
I
were
don't
like just
fuck with
practicing.
cereal, man.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, let's bring this up. Fucking instruments conversation. He plays plenty of instruments. We were doing a practice interview before this. And just as a joke, I was like, hey, you like cereal? Just to get some levels in the mic here. And you said you don't like cereal.
No.
That's a pressing issue.
No.
It's because I don't have milk.
Why don't you have milk? This is like the era of milk. It's
The era of milk?
There's almond milk. There's soy milk. There's cow milk.
Almond?
There's
Those are all bad for you.
lactose-free
Cow milk is bad for you. Like,
Yeah, that'll give you
almonds
osteoporosis.
is like the impact on the environment. Cashew milk's aight.
Listen, let's just like ask that question again, okay?
Like,
Wax on, wax off.
Whack.
What instruments do you play on your music, and like what would you like to learn? That's another one.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a
I know
good
what
question.
I want to learn. I wish I learned piano originally, and I wish I could
Yeah.
play drums.
Basically, like, I play guitar a little
Okay.
bit. I only know enough to, like, add things. But, like, with, like, delay and reverb and, like, weird plugins and shit, you can take a guitar sound and you can, like, make it your sprinkles, your Dr. Dre sprinkles. And, like, you don't even have to use it to make a guitar sound. That's what's cool about the guitar. But I'm more of, like, a piano player. Just because, like, I guess I enjoyed bending, like, pitch bending and shit a lot more. So I just, like, kind of, like, played it more and got better. But if there's anything that I could learn, saxophone, man.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Good pick.
Then I wouldn't have to sample.
True.
Yeah,
Fucking
and
saxophone's
live
cool.
you could be like
Yeah.
playing this electronic music set
Just
and be
pull
like,
it
hold up. That's like amazing.
R.E.G. on the beat.
yeah.
For real.
So you play the theremin like very well, like really highly skilled.
I've heard
That is a theory.
Is that like
I
I've heard
have
it.
it right here.
It's,
It's
that is
we
a
heard
rumor.
everyone was talking about your theremin skills.
You said that.
It is. It's wrote. It's written
Yeah,
down.
it's-
Damn.
Says-
Okay. We weren't supposed to talk about that.
Oh my God.
It's another
Uh,
secret, like the bluegrass music, the theremin. Like we
Yeah.
know we're trying to like get
Shit.
people to get
It's
some
hard
no
to hide
fade
it.
here.
It's hard to hide it. Well, as much as I love playing the theremin, I can't
Soft
really.
hands.
Yeah. I'm actually more of a piano guy because it's not really an option for me at home with the equipment that I have. I actually don't have a recording mic, so I can't really record any other instruments and such. So really, I lay everything down on the piano.
Do you ever get scared at night, or
Playing the piano, yeah. Shit, man.
like do you just turn all the lights off and just
You know, I
you just go
actually
for it?
I leave my monitor, like my PC monitor on, because I'm afraid of the dark.
Dude, my nightlight is literally just like a 10,000 watt bulb
Damn.
that's just right there. Just so you know. So, I don't know.
We're gonna
I
wrap
don't know if
this
he's
up.
not afraid, but I mean, I'm kind of afraid. So, anyways, hopefully.
Goodbye.
See you next time. Goodbye. Hello. Goodbye.
That's the sickest ending because it's just like such a good thing, and then it's so
It goes
funny.
to shit.
Yo, wait.
But it's
I
gonna
want